What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video of Hockey Never Stops. And a huge blockbuster trade went down this morning, sending Pierre-Luc Dubois to the Winnipeg Jets and Patrik Laine to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, trades like this don't happen very often, where you have two top 5 picks being swapped for in the same draft from 2016. They're both 22 years of age and they have the potential to be absolute superstars in this league. Now, before we dive into analysis for both teams, please hit subscribe for some new NHL videos that are going to be coming out within the next couple of weeks. So let's break down what both teams get here. Winnipeg receives Pierre-Luc Dubois, a top 2 center on any given team. He's going to be in your top 6. He can play in your PK, your power play. He's a very solid two-way center and has potentially more to give on a new team and a new role. Also thrown in there was the 2022 third-round pick. It's important to note this is not a 2021 pick because the 2021 draft is most likely a crapshoot and we don't know where players are going to go. So Winnipeg is looking for 2022, which is a pretty good draft that's upcoming. And Columbus is receiving Patrik Laine, a huge name in the hockey business. Now, he's been in trade rumors forever, and I'm so happy everyone can just shut up about all these rumors that have been going around for the past 2 years, and they've been swirling out forever. It's also important to note that Winnipeg has retained $1.7 million off of Patrik Laine's contract, which equals to $5 million, so Columbus is saving a little bit of cap there. As well as Jack Roslovic, who's actually a pretty good middle 6 forward. He was basically the only RFA that wasn't signed up until a couple hours ago, where he signed a 2-year, almost $4 million contract in total with the Blue Jackets. Now, Roslovic can move up and down your lineup. He could possibly put up 50 points one day, but honestly, he's more of like a middle 6 forward. He's going to be 24 years of age, so he's basically a set player by now. Now, I'm going to start off looking at the Winnipeg Jets lines here. Starting off, you have Connor, Scheifele, Wheeler. Nothing's going to really change there, but since they acquired Dubois, their left wing's going to take a little bit of a hit here. And here I have Copp marked in red because I think that Copp is more of a 3rd line, 4th line type role. Instead, he's probably going to be on the 2nd line and trying to fill in for Laine. He's a good player, he's a good energy forward, but I don't think he's fit for the top 6. So they're losing a little bit of a hit there. But Winnipeg has been looking for a 2nd line center for years and years. I mean, you go back to Paul Stastny, Kevin Hayes, bringing back Paul Stastny again. Stastny looks like he's kind of fallen off a little bit, and maybe he's more suited for a 3rd line role, which is why I have him marked in green, because Dubois comes in and he's going to be probably their 2nd line center, maybe 1st. We'll have to see eventually because he's still pretty young. But either way, you have Dubois locked in for at least 2 more years, and he's young. And if you get him off to a new bright contract within the next couple of years, you sign him to an extension, then he could be here long term with Mark Scheifele there as well. Now, like I said in my last video, I thought that Pierre-Luc Dubois could take another step, and I was predicting that, yeah, he's probably going to get traded, but we don't really know where yet. And honestly, Dubois could be put on the 1st power play. He could put up the points this year, honestly. He's on a pretty offensive team. He has some very good wingers around him. I mean, Nikolai Ehlers, you could argue that he could be on the 1st line as well. That's how good this Winnipeg Jets lineup is, and they could be making some noise this year. Having a top 2 center of Scheifele and Dubois is pretty uncommon in the league. I mean, you have a right shot there and a left shot, so they can both take face-offs on either side. Let's say you're down a goal in the 3rd period and you need a key face-off. If it's on the right side, you put Scheifele out there. If it's on the left side, you put Dubois out there. And there's only a handful of teams who have a better 1-2 punch down the middle in the league. And bringing Dubois pretty much shores up a very solid center core for the Winnipeg Jets with Scheifele, Dubois, Stastny, and Lowry, who's probably one of the best 4th line centers in the league at this point. And bringing in Dubois probably is showing that Cole Perfetti's probably going to be on the wing, because Scheifele's not going to be moved. They're not going to move Dubois right away. When Cole Perfetti comes into the league, he's probably going to be on that left side on the top 2 lines. And now we're going to head on to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, with Patrik Laine on this team, that's just so weird to think about, because we all saw him as a Jet, even though he was mentioned in rumors around the league, such as Philly, Carolina. I think even Anaheim popped up at one point. But I'm just going to mark in right here. You have Patrik Laine as your top line left winger. That's set in stone. He's your first dynamic forward since Artemi Panarin left a couple years ago. Now, I have him on the line with Max Domi and Cam Atkinson. Max Domi, I think, is a little bit weak here. That's why I have him marked in red, especially since Pierre-Luc Dubois has been traded. If you had Dubois and Laine on the same line, that would be perfect. You'd have Dubois as a setup man with Laine scoring all the goals. In this case, Max Domi can be that. I just don't think Max Domi has as much skill as Pierre-Luc Dubois has to offer. Also, Max Domi is a top 6 winger in this league, but notice how I said winger and not center, so I'm not really sure why Columbus is still putting him as a center, but let us watch Columbus do their thing and we'll see how it plays out. Now, I don't have Texier in red as well because I think Texier is going to take that next step this year, and he's off to a pretty good start. I think he has 4 points in 5 games at this moment. And then moving on, I also had Jack Roslovic. I think that's a very good add on the right side, especially on that right side. Now you have Atkinson, Bjorkstrand, who's quite underrated in the NHL, and the Roslovic as your third line right wing. Foligno, Jenner, and Roslovic could be a perfect two-way matchup center that could play against the top lines. Now, it's also important to note that Gustav Nyquist is also injured, so after this, I'm not really sure where he's going to play in. I think if Grigorenko doesn't live up to expectations, Nyquist will come in next year, but Nyquist is out for at least a couple more months, so I don't think he's going to be in this lineup anytime soon. Talking about Patrik Laine here, he's going to be on a team with John Tortorella as his coach. Patrik Laine was always quite vocal about who he was playing with on a line. He is now going to be the guy on the team. He is going to be relied a lot more unless he does not fit in with the coach. Now, this is very risky here because if Laine comes in, he has a very bad start. We know how inconsistent he is, and John Tortorella does not like his game. This could be a huge L for the Blue Jackets, because you're dealing with two very stubborn personalities in Patrik Laine and John Tortorella. But if Laine buys in, he becomes a much better two-way player, and eventually we see him playing possibly on the PK one day. This could be a huge win for the Blue Jackets, and then he could also focus on his offensive game and be that projected 40 goal scorer that he can be. And one of the reasons why Laine was not getting as much ice time was because of how stacked Winnipeg's offense was. I mean, they had Connor on the wing, Nikolai Ehlers, and Blake Wheeler. Those are 3 high-end wingers, and Patrik Laine there just chilling. That's kind of hard to beat, those 3 guys. But if Patrik Laine wants ice time, now he has it. Now he should be able to go out there and earn it, play 20 minutes a night, play on the top line, score a lot of power play goals, and then hopefully we will see a consistent player that will be a superstar given in every single game this year. And personally myself, I'm just so happy that he did get traded, because these rumors have lasted for like 2 years now, and it's just great for him to be out of the mainstream media, honestly. Now, who wins this trade? It's a little bit hard to say right now, but honestly, I think Patrik Laine is more of the bigger risk in this case. I mean, the guy can put up 45 goals in a year, or he could suck. Like, there's no in between. He has the potential to win a Rocket Richard trophy, but that's if he's put in the right position. Now, Dubois, he's going to go in there, play a top 6 role. He's probably going to put up 60 points for the next 10 years, we'll see. And you know what you're getting out of him, and potentially he could put up more points eventually. So if Laine fits into Columbus, they win automatically, because they also got Roslovic, who is a pretty young player, and he could be a central part of this team, especially being born in Columbus. Now, if they just find a couple centers, put Domi back on the left wing, probably on the second line, Texier becomes a top 6 forward, and then they acquire another top 6 center, then honestly, Columbus wins this trade automatically. But if Laine flops, he spends 2 years in Columbus, and then eventually he's traded again, becomes one of those players that's a really good goal scorer, but he's just kind of inconsistent and can't find himself as a core member on a single team, then Columbus loses this trade, because they're losing a very good two-way top line center here. But honestly, I'm going to go with Columbus winning here. And that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Please hit like, comment down below, and hit subscribe for some new NHL videos that are going to be coming out within the next couple of weeks. I'm going to have another video coming out within the next couple of days talking about different players that have come from different countries, and I will see you guys in the next video.